Hey there, Ghost. This is Will with part 2 of the assault rifle testing, and we're going to start off with the AUG, which is a fantastic rifle if you're looking for an AR to serve a DMR role. So let's get started with the range testing here. Okay. Now, when we're done with all this, at the end of the video, I will have composite image of all the shots from both tests as well as their damage ratings based on my damage testing. So that's where we ended up with the AUG. And one thing to note is, like the previous video, I have attachments that are best suited for them. With the AUG, in fact, it is the only assault rifle that can equip the grip pod, which increases range by 15%. So that's one of the things that makes it uniquely suited. Now, it can't equip an ACOG. In fact, the only assault rifle I have that can equip the ACOG is the AK-47. I believe it's the 47 or the 12 that can equip the ACOG. I can't remember which. I know some LMGs can, but yeah. So it's digital scopes for the most part. Okay, well, next we're on to the Tabor, whatever. Okay. Really hate using the digital scope without having the ability to zoom. I cannot wait until they get that variable zoom switch fixed for it, so I can actually, use it practically. So, there we go. There's that bullet hole right there. Now, the M4A1 is next. No, I accidentally fired twice. It's okay, though. We know to take the bottom shot. Yep, so that's a little lower. Yep. Now we're taking on the 805 Bren. Single shot, please. Thank you. There we go. Okay, so that's about on par with the M4A1. Actually, so far the AUG is a standout in this group, which kind of new. Range tends to be pretty middling in a lot of these. So if you've watched any of my previous sniper videos, you'll know that the range stat is one of the few stats that matter in this game. Accuracy, not so much, at least not for sniper rifles. And really, I haven't noticed anything special about it with assault rifles either. So, okay, there's that one. That is the VHSD2 right here. Now we're on to the AK-74. Which, that looked to be pretty good. Let's double check here. Yeah, that's good. That's comparable to the AUG right there. So, let me double check that thing's range stat real quick. Yeah, that's to be expected. So if we compare that to the AUG here. Yeah, it's just slightly higher, in fact. Alright, now the M4A1 Assault Valor. I cannot remember how I got this one. I think it was some sort of reward, maybe for pre-ordering, but we're including it in the testing. The thing that sucks about it is you can't equip a suppressor. And it can only do burst or full auto. So, alright, let's zoom in. Okay. I had to go around and clear out all the guys nearby, and then they just respawn, like new guys respawn, so yeah, that is not great. But without a suppressor, you're not using it as a mid-range DMR for when things are quiet, so alright, got one last, the 416 Shorty, which, given it's shorter, its range actually is not that bad. And once again, it's one of those that can only do burst fire or full. No semi-auto receiver on this. Oh, that's low. Hang on. Let me shoot over here. We're gonna have to... Let's fire a few rounds over there, and then that way clear the bullet hole for the M4 Assault. There we go. Okay, so there it is. It is right there, and that bullet hole is still there from the M4 Assault, but that's it right there, that range. So that's pretty low. Comparatively speaking, this is one of those situations where the range stat lies a little bit, because there should probably not that be that big of a difference. Let's find something else to compare it to. It's got similar range stat. Yeah, the Tavor has a similar range, so let's fire that again just to be sure. There may be some sort of bug. Those should be about on par. So, yeah, not even close. So the range stat on the 416 Shorty lies. You can ignore that because it's not what it should be. Yeah. I'm going to note that. Here. Range stat. Okay. So good to know. Granted, you're not really going to be using it for long-range shots. It's kind of like, you know, taking the MK17 and putting a short barrel on it. It's that type of equipped loadout. Damage tests, we'll do some digging and see here. So while we're getting ready for damage tests, through the magic of video editing, I'm going to hop on over to where I do my damage tests, and you'll be looking at the bullet drops. Now, for the most part, there's nothing unexpected here. Aside from the 416 Shorty, it's all within the standard range for these assault rifles at 300 meters. So it really, the standouts would be, for instance, the AUG, the SC20K, the AK-47, Mark 17, the AK-74 was pretty good too. Those are going to be your lowest bullet drop assault rifles. Now, as far as best optics go, to pair with that range, I mean, the SC20K is a clear winner just because it has a great long-range optic that's an actual, sniper scope, essentially. It's not as powerful as the T5XI, but it's still a nice scope, and so that makes it pretty viable there. Plus, in its damage class, it's good. So, but we're not done yet. Now we've got to clear out some bad guys here. And actually, I'm just going to let them come to me. I'm just going to keep an eye out and start. Actually, I think I'll go take care of that group over there real quick. So that'll be an easy one to take care of. In fact, I'm going to run a little further away here. So a little more room. So that group by the motorcycle needs to die. And you know what? We've got, what is it we have equipped? The Tabor. Yeah, sure. Why not? Taking them out with the Tabor. Done. Alright. So, let's equip the AUG and get going. Now, we're just going to blast through the first 3 mags as quickly as possible, because it's reasonable to say that they're all pretty much going to take at least 3 mags to destroy this vehicle. There's one shot. Okay. There's 2 mags. Okay, we're starting to get a little... Let's switch a single shot here. Yes, the recoil is fantastic on the AUG here. Yep, okay, so that was kind of spaced. That's 3 mags, 4 shots, so that puts it on par with the other. With the other rifles here. Let's go back over here to my bivouac. Give me 1 second here. I gotta take off this stupid fleece. I'm getting warm. Alright, let's swap out the AUG for the Tabor. And for all you ammo sexuals out there, I apologize if I pronounce the names of these weapons wrong. I've never heard them pronounced. And some I just don't care, really. Like, it's like, not really interested. I mean, don't get me wrong. I used to love target shooting as a kid. I would still love to do it, but it's just not a high priority for me in life. So, okay, let's get another vehicle. When it comes to guns for me, I just like the design of them and, you know, some of the mechanics and things like that. I think it's fascinating. But that is the extent of my interest. Okay, so no, it's still the AUG, is it? No, that's Tabor. It's another bullpup rifle, so okay. Man, that thing's recoil is fantastic. Very manageable. Now I am doing some recoil management myself. I am moving my mouse, so that isn't just its natural spread there. Took an extra 18 rounds there. I can't remember if that was 3 or 4, so I will double check that later. But I can probably, didn't mean to do that, probably guess. This is what I get for not paying attention. 22 damage versus the shorty. Let's see, what have we tested? We have tested the AUG, so. Actually, it's only the second one I've tested, so. Huh. Oh well. Like I said, we'll figure it out after the video. For those of you watching at home, you already know the answer if you're counting. Although watch, this will go just like last time, and my audio will cut out. I'll get attacked and just end up redoing the whole damage portion, which I don't want to do. I want to get this done because you know what? I want to play the game. This is good info, but I am not as interested. This is actually one of my most requested bits of content, is comparing assault rifles. So next we're doing the M4A1, which I wish it showed you what you had. Yeah, it's the M4A1. I apologize, I have the memory of a pot smoker without all the joys of smoking pot. Alright, so get this vehicle parked here. There we go. Alright. I'm counting the mags this time. 1 mag. Two mags. Three mags. We're switching to single shot here. Six rounds. 3M plus 26. Okay. So it's not great, but it's not the worst. The worst still so far is the AK-12. 4 mags and 23 rounds, which is pretty significant. So, alright, next we're up to the 805 Bren. We'll be halfway through damage testing. Now, in my last video I talked about doing individual weapon reviews. One of the things I plan on doing with that is also doing detection range. But I'm going to be doing like one a week, one every weekend, so you got a while, probably. I may put up a poll to request what order I should do them in, but obviously sniper rifles are going to get priority. Sniper rifles and DMRs, because that is what I focus on. And what my gameplay focuses on, what these videos are all about, is playing a marksman / sniper. Okay. We've got the 805 Bren here to test. Let's go grab my vehicle and give her a shot. Oh, they're here to check out the... Get away from my target vehicle here. Goodbye. Okay, let's get this vehicle parked over here. In fact, we're gonna... I am not used to this rifle at all. Alright. So, here we go. Testing the 805 Bren. One mag down. Two mags down. Three down. 2, 3, 6, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So that was 26 shots. So that's another 3 mag plus 26, just like the M4A1. Now the number of shots, like, it could vary a few because I don't have these all boosted up. You have them max, have them up to Mark III, you'll have higher damage output. Whether it's enough to matter is kind of but you never know. It probably matters more in the case of these assault rifles, SMGs, pistols, that sort of thing, just because they have a lower damage point overall compared to sniper rifles and DMRs. Obviously, it takes more rounds. But this is very broad strokes. You want the details, that's when we do the full weapon reviews, where each weapon will be maxed out with the best equipment you can have, and hopefully by then variable zoom scopes will also be working. And who knows, maybe we'll change it up so we can actually equip the TA31H. Yeah, is that what it was? The ACOG. Or even some other scopes. You know, so far only one assault rifle has been able to equip a long-range optic. A true long-range optic, I should say. Okay, so next we are doing the HSD. I use this one for a bit. It's an interesting rifle. I had assumed because bullpup design plus its length it would have better range, but it's not really as good as I was hoping. Still. It's 2 mags down. That's 3. Alright. That was 3 mags and 22 shots. So, good to know. Next, we're up to the AK-74. And then we'll be doing the 2 specialty blueprint rifles. The Battle Crate and the, I can't remember, pre-order bonus or what, but... Or maybe I got it as part of an Ubisoft Club reward. Let's go and swap my weapon here. AK-74. Alright, let's get to shooting. Well, I was only barely paying attention to that, but you know what? That was 3 mags and 26, I believe, so let's double check its damage. Kinda spaced out there for a second, so I know the M4A1 did 3 mags and 21. 26, yeah, so that's gotta be it. So that's pretty much dead on there. So 3M plus 26. There we go. Alright. Next we're doing something that should be interesting. The M4A1 Assault. Now it should compare to the SC20K and others in that it should probably be around 3 mags and 4 shots. But the stat could lie. And actually it probably will lie. And in that we won't have a suppressor on too, so that's something to keep in mind. We can't equip a suppressor with this, so this is not going to be a apples to apples comparison. But generally speaking, with assault rifles, I always have a suppressor on, just because. I mean, I almost always have a suppressor on regardless now, just because the enemies are so dense and detection ranges are so much longer unsuppressed for things like sniper rifles, especially the high-powered ones. It's a little bit of a challenge to actually shoot unsuppressed now, and with the AI coming and hunting you out a little better than they used to in Wildlands. Make sure, yep, I got the right one equipped. Alright. God, that sound is great. Okay, we're at 3 mags. That's interesting. That took 3 mags and 4 shots. let's check that real quick. So, M4, one assault, compared to the AUG here, which I fired, suppressed. Same damage. That is really interesting. Same damage. The suppressor does not actually seem to affect the damage in this case. We might have to do some testing. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to test the 416 shorty with and without suppressor. So, a little bonus test for you. Okay. Deploy the bivouac. There we go. Alright. Of course, you gotta love it when you're doing this for the first time and you're recording it. So I am as surprised as you guys are. Like I said, we're going to test the 416 shorty with and without suppressor to see if it actually affects the damage. This one should take quite a few shots, I'm guessing, but we'll find out. In fact, let's look at the stat here. That is 26, so it's not going to be too bad. Alright. Nice vertical recoil, not a lot of horizontal play. Yeah. So that's 3 mags we're on now. Okay, so that is 3 mags and 26 shots. So now, let's get another vehicle and test it without suppressor. Let's go ahead and take that off while I'm thinking about it. Alright, there we go. Interesting. So suppressors are bugged in that they don't reduce damage for assault rifles, I guess. That was part of the whole reason for the Panther class, at least for submachine guns and pistols, in that you wouldn't have to deal with damage reduction with suppressors. But at least so far with assault rifles, there is no difference. So use a suppressor while you can, I guess. Um, hmm. That's really interesting. Unless I ended up getting some skill that I wasn't even paying attention to that ended up eliminating suppressor damage reduction, but I didn't see anything like that. I looked pretty closely. I mean, I've got every single skill, for Pete's sake, too. Yeah, so, okay. While we're here talking, I'm going to throw up the composite image, which contains the ranges for all the assault rifles I've tested and their number of shots taken to destroy the target vehicle. Now, this does not include the battle crate M4A1 tactical, I want to say, with the integrated suppressor, or the AK-47 or 74 assault, whichever one it is. Does not include either of those. I don't have them, and I wasn't going to be able to get them in time to do this testing. They will be included as part of my individualized weapon reviews. I'm really looking forward to doing the M4A1 tactical. I've seen videos of it, and it seems like it might serve a really nice role potentially as a alternate DMR, essentially. So you're here, you're looking at these ranges, and you're looking at these damage stats, and you're thinking, what does all this mean? How do I pick the best one? Well, it all depends on what you like and what role you want. And you're still going to need to do your own testing. Some of these, it's all going to be very variable depending on attachments. I personally try to ensure I have little horizontal recoil with my attachments when I can. Horizontal recoil I hate more than vertical. Vertical is great because it helps you stitch up to the head, especially when you're close range. But then also optics matter. If you want something with great long-range optics that has high damage and high range, then the SC20K is going to be your weapon. The problem is you can't equip a grenade launcher on it because it doesn't have an underbarrel attachment option. If you want something a little more classic, something comparable, but does not have a long-range optic, just uses a digital scope, which for now is bugged and you can't zoom in with that yet. The Mark 17 is fantastic. It's got the same damage within the same range class as the SC20K, and you can equip a grenade launcher on it. Now, I personally don't recommend doing that if you're using it in a true DMR role because it supposedly increases sway. And really, your sniper, you've got sniper rifles. I suggest you use those for vehicles. TAC 50, HTI, those are all great for taking out vehicles. HTI especially. HTI is the highest damage sniper rifle, right next to the M82, but the M82 has kind of awful recoil, so I tend to prefer the HTI. Now, overall, what does this mean as far as these versus DMRs? Well, number one, if you're using assault rifles as DMRs, you either have to be prepared to go through a crap ton of ammo or just score headshots, which when I'm using my DMR, I'm typically not using it when the enemies are standing still. I'm using it when they're running around, and so scoring a headshot's much more challenging. If you're, but if you really want something with full auto capabilities, I might suggest a Mark 14 DMR, because you're going to have the option for full auto, but it will take about a third of the shots to blow up the target vehicle. That means more damage. If you're taking Um, if you're taking on things like drones and whatnot, yeah, you can do it, but you're going to need to be closer to be able to stitch those shots to meaningful parts of the drone. Now, another option, which I personally like, is the AUG. It's got great range, same high damage class, and its recoil is pretty manageable. I really like its recoil. Um, the M4A1 Assault, it gets a kind of half thumbs up for me. Great damage, but no suppressor option. And its range is it's okay. For that damage, you're better off going with something else. There's really no advantage to taking it, especially considering it's got a strong horizontal recoil. Um, the uh, the um, the AK-47 is nice if you want to use the ACOG. It's got high damage. I've rated as number 2 in the bullet drop test as far as assault rifles go, and you can use the ACOG if you prefer that. It would actually serve really well if you want something with the TA-31H. So definitely take that into consideration. So I guess my top, I would say, let's go with top 5 here. Number 1, if you're wanting long-range optics, the SC20K is just fantastic for damage and range and optics. Number 2 would be the Mark 17. Actually, no, number 2 would be the AUG, then the Mark 17. I'm personally not a fan of it, but the AK-47 would probably be in my number 4 slot. And number 5, that's a toughie right there. Number 5, I would say probably the A2. Its bullet drop is not as bad. Its damage is kind of but I thought its recoil was pretty manageable if I remember right. Let me look at that. Oh, I don't have one on me. Never mind. So really, the A2 is just thrown on there. It's top 4, but ultimately, if you're looking for something to serve a DMR role, I'm still going to say use a DMR. You've seen videos of me using a DMR, the G28, and having great success with it. You know, you've got single shot and burst fire with the G28, or you've got single shot and full auto with a Mark 14, and you've got more stopping power. The G28, back when I did it, took 29 shots to destroy a target vehicle. Mark 14 took 30 shots, suppressed. They're really powerful rifles, and you can pair them with the dual optic, dual range scope, the G28 scope, as we know it from Wildlands, and it really works well in that role. I've tried to replace it with other rifles, and honestly, the only time I take an assault rifle is if I just know, like, I'm going to need to spray a lot of rounds downrange for whatever I'm doing. But even then, I will usually just carry the Vector in my backpack and swap that out should I need it. So, but once again, it's all about personal taste, how you like to play. And if you like to play with something that can spray a lot of rounds downrange and you know, and not have to reload as much, because you've got a larger magazine, especially if you put on the extended mag for these things, absolutely use an assault rifle. We know the top ones, you know, for this, and you can see it up on this chart, which I'm sure is still up because I'm rambling like crazy. But anyways, that's what I got for you, Ghosts. Next week, maybe even within 24 hours of this being released, 24 to 30, 32 hours or so. I don't know. 36 hours, I should say. Yeah, maybe I will be doing some more suppressor testing to see if just assault rifles or if it's actually, affecting all guns, and do we have to worry about it? Um, do suppressors really reduce damage like they say they do? Because so far in testing, I have not seen a lick of difference between the two. So, thanks for watching, Ghosts. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you want to see in more videos by myself. And check out my website, classicwfl.com. I've got art, music, photography, slightly offensive t-shirts. And I need your support. Also, go check out my blog. I just published a new, really short article. For those of you who are interested in the world of web design development, I have a really nice, simple article targeted at people who are just getting into it. And especially if you've got an interest in CSS, I talk about the importance of pseudo classes, which I use every day at my day job. So, go check it out. And let me know what you think. So that's all I got for you, Ghosts. And if you're lucky, maybe I'll see you in Erewhon.